height of our hurricane season, the heat's still out. We've been pretty fortunate so far. Still time to hit the beach before, it won't get cold here till December 20th. It's going to take a while.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while.
Uh-huh.
But
you look bundled up right now.
right, it is a little chilly in here. But there is a Florida man that was taking to the beach a little too insanely, but in a funny way. He was arrested for trying to cross the Atlantic Ocean in a human-powered hamster wheel. Basically, the U.S. Coast Guard intercepted Reza Baluchi about 70 miles off of Tybee Island, Georgia, on the 26th of August. He's a 44-year-old marathon runner, and he refused to leave the vessel for 3 days.
Is it that ball that you can, run?
Not exactly.
Or it was an actual,
It was a cylinder. So, think of this can, but put it on its side, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's done that. And then there's kind of like those paddle boat wheels.
Okay.
But it's all metal, and it has like a little flipper on each section. And inside all of that, because it looks like very scaffoldish almost, like it's not finished, like polished up, but it's enough to get the job done. But he's got all these buoys and inflatable
like
things.
the Titan sub. Yeah,
right, in the wheels, basically. Yeah. He's trying to run to London.
Run to London.
Basically. That is such a Florida man fucking thing.
Did he have snacks on there or nothing?
I have no idea.
You're just going to run to London.
That's a good point. How long would that take? When are you going to sleep? What's the bathroom situation like? I had the same questions as the Titan sub.
You know what? It's a Titan sub all over again. Yeah. And thank God the Coast Guard was right there to stop
They got him. Well, that's on the U.S. side. Unfortunately, we can't control what's happening in India. But India is building a Titan-like submersible to explore the deep sea. They've unveiled the Matsya 6000, its first manned deep-sea vehicle capable of carrying 3 people up to 6 kilometers, which is about 4 miles underwater. Reported by India Today, its design is influenced by the OceanGate's Titan. Well, that's good. Beautiful. That we're on top of it.
Yes.
The titanium-made submersible is expected to be ready in 2026, maybe.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude, the ocean's crazy, dude. Especially the deeper you go, the more pressurized this. Think about.
I told you it doesn't want us down there.
I'm just saying. I have binge watched this on Discovery Channel and stuff. The giant squid and
that's terrifying.
And the whale wars and the whale wars and
they're fighting each other.
Yeah, giant squid's crazy.
That creeps me out.
Since you brought up a Florida man, I actually have one too. I have a Florida man story.
I love Florida man. He entertains all of us. We are all him, and he is all us.
Florida man holds construction workers at gunpoint.
This is
fearing they would ruin his lawn.
It's the ultimate old man move.
He held 2 construction workers at gunpoint. This was in Tampa, out of fear they would destroy grass on his lawn. 62-year-old Timothy DeMarce said he would shoot the employees if they ruined his grass.
He's been working all summer on that.
He, quote, said, "I've seen him out in the yard and whatnot. Never really said anything. Just definitely didn't want to bother him. He's that type," a neighbor told. Everybody on the street really got hurt bad by Ian, and I just think people are tired and upset and getting contractors to work and getting work done and getting our lives back together. I just think people are at wit's ends.
I get, yeah.
So pretty much,
you got to make a mess to clean one up.
Right.
Kinda.
So they just.
He's fed up.
Deputies came, found a loaded gun. He was arrested with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and bonded out of jail. So he really. Listen, if you're trying to win, Lawn of the Year or whatever fucking awards that they have, I get it, dude. You just don't want your.
What's interesting too is the neighbor's reaction, because usually, I'm always used to hearing when somebody snaps like that.
Oh my God, we didn't see this coming.
Right, he was well liked.
The neighbors are like, we saw this coming.
Right, they're like, he seemed like he didn't want to be bothered, so we just kind of stayed away from him.
The construction workers were asking for it, dude. They didn't care. We all warned them.
Just walked right up and took a shit on the lawn. We told him that was a bad idea, and he bonded out.
Yeah.
So he's got money.
Yeah. Well,
He's
I mean,
got
you
money.
know, I mean.
Well, I know you were making comments earlier about how I was dressed, but there's somebody else that bonded out, buddy.
Oh, you got one?
Same day, and
Oh,
I got
beautiful.
one.
Let's see.
This is something that really, in a way, and whether you love him or hate
He
him,
got your
in a,
vote.
no, in a way,
Oh.
he brought us all together.
Not really.
Because love him or hate him, we all wanted this shirt.
Yes.
Fashion show.
Full send, yes.
Full
I love
send. Big reveal.
it. Looks good.
Yeah, right?
So he's got your vote. That's pretty much what
I
we're
ain't
getting. Well, you
voting.
can't vote, but still.
Who's doing that?
Well, you know, people that
Fucking
so
losers.
believe.
Yeah, you're funny.
Just think about how insane that is. That
Oh, his campaign
merch.
was selling merch. This isn't from his campaign, but his campaign was selling merch. Like,
Yeah.
the big, ironic one was on a mug. Like, this is my mug shot.
Right.
Because they were doing, I saw memes like that. Most notable presidential mug shots, and it's got JFK with a mug, it's got Nixon with a mug, it's got Lyndon B. Johnson with a coffee. You know, they're drinking coffee, and then
Right.
it's Trump at the bottom. Like, the memes are fantastic. People, photoshopping shit on that. They made one where he looks like the old lady from the Goonies. Like, they've been great. They really have.
Did you see the interviews that they did with the locals in Atlanta? And they were interviewing a bunch of black people, and they were like, "Yeah, Trump's one of us." Now,
I was going to say, I have something in common with the guy now, actually, weirdly enough.
Oh my god. Jeez.
This is weird, man. It's getting weird. But no, I saw when he was the motorcade when he was leaving, and it's funny. I saw a video too, the juxtaposition of one to the other with him leaving the Fulton County jail after bonding out, and like how you said, the entire neighborhood is black, and they are clapping and cheering him on while he's going through. It's what they don't want you to see.
And then when Biden arrives in Maui, they are
they're all
telling
like,
him to fuck
right.
off.
But
yet
that's what it is. It's white liberal guilt that is making people think that minorities and people of other ethnicities and cultures they're just not smart enough to make their own decision, kind of thing. Like, if they don't agree with the narrative that white liberal people have put you as like the poster child of, and you're like, that's not me. I'm just like, I worked hard, and I'm just, like, I saw what you told me I could be, and I became that. I'm not any of
it's
these
just
things.
mind. It's just
Right.
mind games.
No victim
and they
mentality
want to hold
here.
people
Like, we know how
down.
to, like they did that bit about voter ID, and they went to like a bunch of college campuses, and we're talking to a bunch of white kids,
And they were like, it's
and
so
they're like,
racist.
it's racist. And they said, well, why? They're like, well, they just don't have, they're not going to have access to the internet. They're not going to know where to go to the thing. And then they go out on the street and start talking to black people in New York, and they're like, you have an ID? They're like, yeah. They're like, do you know where to get an ID? They're like, yeah, the fucking DMV is like right over there, dude. They're like, do you know how to use the internet? He said, bitch, I got a fucking brand new iPhone. Like, what do you think I am?
And this is the problem that I have. Like when they are interviewing these college kids, and this is why this young generation sucks, because they believe it. Like they're not just grabbing clips from headlines because they believe this shit. Like,
that's what they've been taught.
And you can show them evidence, and they will not accept it, and you're racist. How is having an ID racist? Like, you need one to drive.
Right. And that's just one example. But yeah, I know.
Well, I'm glad that
it's bananas. But yeah, I got my Trump shirt.
I like
Liberals and conservatives both love the shirt.
Definitely need to
There's
get
a lot
one.
of different variations too. You might want to find one that's very like suits you.
Now, as much as you love Trump, I love our current president Joe Biden, because
big fans.
Again, it's clear as day that he won legit, and how so many people wanted to vote for him. I mean, it's clear. I mean, Trump fills stadiums. And I remember Biden barely got 100 people.
He has merch.
He's got merch. Biden don't have merch. Biden doesn't have merch. But he does have memes. And he does have...
Trips
he has
and falls.
very inspirational speeches. He is probably the most inspirational human being I've probably ever witnessed in my life. Very inspirational. When he talks...
still doing it.
When he makes a speech, I want to just take on the world.
Right.
Because it's just... I feel like I could do anything in life.
Right on.
So, this speech really touched me. During September 11th, which you would think you would be in New York, for just like every
Watching
other.
the Jets game.
Well, just at the tower, because September
No, I get
11th,
you.
tower's going. Every president goes there. It's like a tradition. Well, he was busy. He went to Vietnam and did a speech there. Had a little speech with some other world leaders there.
Okay.
Yeah, and
In Vietnam?
Vietnam, yes. And I'm gonna read you this quote. It was probably the most. I mean, if this doesn't give you goosebumps,
Ooh.
this speech, I mean, I really don't know what is.
Okay.
I mean, you might want to change your shirt of how great this quote is.
I already need to change my pants.
Are you ready? I hope the people at home are ready to hear this.
You ready?
This is, and I quote.
Buckle up.
And I quote.
Oh, God.
And look, nobody likes having celebrated international meetings if you don't know what you want at the meeting. I'm going to bed. That's it. Okay? That's
like me at a job
he said
interview.
I'm going to bed. Okay?
I'm going to bed.
Then they cut his mic off.
Oh, he was still going. I thought that's all he said
Oh,
and walked away.
No.
Gone
As
to
soon as
bed.
he said I'm going to bed, they cut his mic off, and then they started playing piano music while trying to get him off the
Not
stage.
playing him up.
And again, that's your guy.
You know what you got to do to get him off the stage? You just got to be stage left.
Just tell him that there's little girls in the back.
No, just have an ice cream cone. Just be like, here.
That too. Well, because they
It's
were
like family. Ooh, like James Woods. Ooh, piece of candy.
Well, people were trying to ask him questions, and they didn't want him answering anymore.
Yeah, they do that. I've noticed that a couple of
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
I've noticed that a couple of times.
Listen,
It's like how they take Mitch McConnell away when he's having that 1,000-yard stare for some moment.
Yes.
And then they do. They're like, okay, that's enough of this.
Or what's that other lady? Feinstein?
Oh, Dianne Feinstein.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to. I'll do it for next time. I should have done it already.
She's like Ruth Ginsburg, that last in the hospital for months, still taking up a spot in the
Well, I'll commit to this for you and for myself. There is a list, and I forget where I saw it, but I will find it and I will write it down.
List? Oh.
No, they told us we had aliens before they released a single client. They're not going to tell us that.
I'm sorry.
There is a list of things that Ms. Feinstein is older than.
Oh.
And it is pretty mind-blowing what some of the items that are on this list.
I'm so glad we don't have term limits.
And the history behind it.
I'm so glad we don't have
unreal.
term limits.
It is
beautiful.
Bizarre.
So, yeah, I mean, listen,
I'm sorry to cut you
No,
off,
go
but
ahead.
to bring us back to my beautiful shirt here, even though he is old, he's still with it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. It's hard to not sound ageist when we keep talking about stuff like this, but it's been, I don't care. The fucking doctor cleared you. You pay the doctor. We all know this bullshit. He comes, McConnell comes back out. It's like, I continue to finish my term and I'm going to keep going and blah, blah. Like, they won't fucking give it up. But if you're with it, you speak well, you're on topic, you're on point. I mean, throw parties out the window. I think everybody can kind of agree that the whole Biden thing is just sort of like, we know that it's getting bad and it's getting worse and he's not mentally fit. Like, would you want him or McConnell or Feinstein driving a car?
No.
Exactly. So why should they be allowed to be in...
This is what I'm telling you. Biden was like this while he was running.
It was, yeah. It started off as he just has a stutter, and then
I'm supposed to believe
ballooned into
I'm
something.
supposed to believe the majority of America said, yes, I want Joe Biden as president. I have a hard time believing that. As great as speeches as he gives, who the fuck likes him, dude? It's a joke. I mean, look, you can hate Trump. That's great. God bless you. But you cannot tell me that you are better off with this clown. And for real,
I can agree with that.
I talked to somebody who is full blue, checks all the boxes, LGBTQ, all that stuff, right? And I just had simple questions, right?
Okay.
So pretty much asked her, I'm like, how, what do you think of Joe Biden? Like, she even says he's shit. He's a
Right,
clown.
they know
He's
that, right.
shit.
I
Hold
want to
on.
hear it from.
And
Yeah.
she even said, because I asked her, take COVID out. Try to be as much as you hate Trump. Could you be honest and be honest and say you had a better life when he was under reigns than you currently are now? She said yes. She goes, listen, what he did was good. Like, we were good. Now, she didn't like him as a person, arrogance. She was extremely offended by grabbing by the pussies. And I'm like, listen, if you heard every man in the locker room or behind closed doors, I mean, we're all fucked. If that's really
I say we got to be honest with ourselves a little bit. I
Right,
mean, you
like,
can dress me up and make me look
Right.
polished, but yeah,
Right.
inside the mouth, no matter how many times I brush, all the dirty words are still in there.
so the point is this. Look, you both arguments can be true. You can hate Trump all day, but there's no way you can really, with a straight face, go, no, Joe Biden's doing great. I know our politicians do that,
Right.
especially on the left, and but still. And the point also I want to get is, I think there should be an age limit.
Oh, 100%.
I'm sorry.
Or just a cognitive test that you need to take after a certain age.
No, because like you said, you could pay that off.
Yeah. Okay.
Because no one's unbiased. Everyone's
That's right.
biased.
Yeah.
You could just pay them off.
Yeah.
Is this the best we could do? 80-year-olds, really?
It's always been the best we could do.
No, like we gotta stop with this shit, dude. Like,
Nope, we're gonna keep going, man.
I'm
Next
just
year,
saying.
next year it's gonna be the same fucking
listen.
rigmarole. but-
Oh, yeah, masks are coming back. COVID's coming back.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the same fucking bullshit.
All coming back.
I just, like I said, every time I hear Joe Biden talk, I'm just like, it's hard for me to believe the majority of Americans that hate Trump go, we rather have this guy instead.
It is.
Because here's another. I don't see anybody walking around with Joe Biden merch, stickers, nothing.
There were just those silly stickers that said "I did that" to point at high prices every time I went to the pump
Yeah.
or the grocery
Yeah,
store.
that was it.
Right, and they
That
weren't
was
making
it.
that.
I don't see anyone walking around
Maybe
going,
his camp was making it, and they were making
I don't
money
see
off it. Who
anyone
knows?
walking around with a Biden shirt. Yes, thank God. Like, no.
Every now
no
and
one's
then
doing
I
that.
see a Biden Harris shirt. Very seldom. It's not. Yeah, you don't
Stay away from those people.
Yeah, and it looks like it's been weathered and worn. Like, so it might be one of the only shirts they have. Well, we're gonna play a little guessing game here.
Ooh.
So the police were called out to reports of ritual mass murder, but it turned out to be something else. What do you think it could have been? That was ritual
dildo party.
dildo party?
Yeah.
Like a bachelorette?
Yeah.
Well, close enough. It was a
See,
yoga class.
Okay.
It was a yoga
Same
class.
shit.
Yeah. It was in England. Seascape Cafe in Chapel St. Leonard's misinterpreted a yoga class as ritual mass murder. 22-year-old instructor Millie Laws was teaching her students at the North Sea Observatory when alarmed onlookers prompted a police response. The confusion arose during the Shavasana stage. All you yogis out there, type it in. I don't know what that is. This is it. Where participants lay motionless with blankets. Okay, like nap time during yoga class. I like that.
See, you could say you do yoga every single day.
The Lincolnshire police promptly addressed and clarified the situation, confirming it was a yoga session and everyone was safe. How about that? Now, if that was in America, the first person to get up would boom! Sorry, I was in fear for my life.
Everyone's getting shot.
Everyone's getting shot.
Everyone's getting shot.
Massive. Let's speed up the process.
Yeah.
Everyone breathe.
Right. Yoga's a scam, dude. To me, yoga's a scam.
Well, stretching is not. So there's something to it. The whole, the meditative state. Like, I don't really practice a whole lot of that, but there is something to be said about the strength of your own mind.
It's made for Karens
and
who have
body.
nothing better to do and fucking soy boys. That's what it's made for. Right or wrong? What?
There's a few people that I know of that are like, but yeah, I guess that's the one person in the fucking class that's actually, legit into spirituality and is like doing this for their mental health and things of that nature. But yeah, I don't know. It probably seems like to me like the yogi Karens. It's an excuse to put on my tights and have people look at me
And fuck the instructor.
and fuck the instructor. Wasn't that Giselle Brady doing that?
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah, there's a chance to do that. And but yeah, the stretching aspect of it is good for your body at least. So I mean, but it looks like it's something easy I could do to also say I'm getting my workout in.
Dude, that's what sex for. That's what sex is for.
Right. And
Downward
the yoga
dog.
might
I mean,
be,
dude,
yeah.
that's downward dog. I mean, that's like a basic sex position all day.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So then, when you're having sex, you could just whisper in ear, "We're doing yogi too."
The yoga's paying off.
Doing yoga.
It's going to help them be even more flexible. So I say, more power to you if you
Try
want to get
different
down with that.
moves. So then you could try different moves when you're banging your chick. Put her leg behind her head. It's also part of yoga too.
Yeah. We'll be standing straight up, just one leg is perfectly vertical.
And you're sweating, and it makes it hot yoga too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
We can have some wheatgrass
And I'm
shakes
sure it's
afterwards.
not cheap. I'm sure it's not cheap either. Yoga classes? I'm sure
I
it's
have
not cheap.
no idea. It probably isn't really that
I'm sure
cheap.
it's not cheap. So, I might have a meltdown. I don't know yet. I'm kind of just going to raise awareness.
Oh boy.
Again. Okay?
This is a heavy day.
So, Morocco had an earthquake.
Mm.
Okay? Had an earthquake. Fortunately, over 2,901 people have died. Okay? During this massive earthquake. And it's weird. I think I really haven't heard any updates on Maui. I think we still have kids missing that we seem not to really give a fuck about.
We don't know.
But yet we have constant footage of Morocco, the damage, up to the minute stats on how many people are injured and that passed. You know what? I do have something though from Maui police chief.
See, I think this is the Morocco thing is another distraction now so that I'm not looking and paying attention to Hillary Duff's new purse. Go ahead.
Oh boy. The great Maui police chief, John Pelletier, who was also the Las Vegas police chief. Great record, by the way. He made a whoopsie. He made a great speech. He admitted, and if you don't believe me, you can look it up, because he said it. He admitted that they are scrubbing all data. And then he quickly realized what he said, and he says, we're cleaning.
Cleaning the island, he meant, or
Cleaning the whatever.
Maybe.
Streets. I don't really know. But
maybe he's getting his palms greased by Larry Ellison to get that one national database under his control run by Oracle on that little island. I don't know.
I just don't understand.
They're all in bed together.
Let me ask you, could you imagine, let's go back to September 11th. Mm. Could you imagine if they did the same shit that Maui's doing now? I think people would have been outraged back then.
Jet fuel don't melt steel beams, but with regard to the dead,
I'm saying
okay,
to
right.
the
respect
access, the body count, how many people were. I mean,
this is an island.
Hold on, we have names. They have a memorial of everyone's fucking name. Everyone's accounted for. It's been, 9 weeks since the Maui fire, and we're still at 115. Morocco is giving you every fucking hour. They're giving you updates.
Point. Yeah.
And
we know who's missing. We know their names. We know their addresses. We know everything. That's true. That it could bring up 9/11 because when that happened, I was in 6th grade. After they were done showing us the news footage, because being in middle school, like the elementary school kids weren't allowed to see that. We weren't supposed to talk to the younger kids about it, but we were watching the footage live. And then when they brought us back to the classroom, the assistant principal comes in and starts teaching us about who Osama bin Laden is. They
Beautiful.
not even the victims, they know who did it, who's involved. You know, they came to Florida, they did flight classes, they have all of this fucking bad. That's
Maui,
the point.
we know nothing.
We have no clue.
We know nothing.
Morocco, we've got a death toll, we've got a missing toll, we've got search.
How much property damage, everything. Maui,
It's old news, bud.
nothing.
It's old news.
It is.
Who cares about that
It
anymore?
is bizarre. It really is. Now, I know some people that are hardcore Republicans, they have the mindset of who gives a fuck, it's a Democratic
That's fucked
era.
up.
It is. Because
Wow.
that shouldn't matter, because they're innocent people at the end of the day, and regardless of who you line with politically, no one signs up for
and
this
especially,
kind of shit.
see, that's the
and just be and again, be transparent. If it was something, if it was a natural disaster, right? No one's being honest here. And now, and with all this shady shit going around, you can't ask the fucking governor anything over there because he's not going to answer. Anytime you bring up kids, he doesn't answer at all. You've seen the videos I've showed you. He doesn't answer at all. And this police chief, you're making slips. Wow, we just went bright all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Then the police chief
The CIA's joined the chat.
just goes,
They're hacking in.
yeah, and it goes, we're scrubbing all data, like we're, like Hillary Clinton scrubs fucking, servers, and no, like he had a Joe Biden mess up. No, we're just like,
And like you said, the smug conservative type with a response like that is also, I mean, it's hypocritical too, because if you think about the typical conservative Republican, is like, you fucking get a boner every flag you see, and you cry your eyeballs out when you see a bald eagle kind of people, like, bleeding red, white, and blue and all that shit. Yet, to have the mindset of, fuck it, it's a Democrat. That's, you know what I mean? Like, you're the antithesis now.
Right.
You're no better than the radical left, in my view.
right. Well,
You gotta be careful with
and I
stuff
mean the
like
radical right. I'm not saying the normal everyday, but
Right.
because again, if you really see, I mean, whenever they bring up, they love to bring up those cities like where the gun laws are the strictest and the crime is, but then they don't really care.
They don't have a solution.
It's democratic cities, so who really cares? Like, and they kind of go. What I hear from the radical right is they go, well, they asked for it, they voted for it, and I'm like,
so let everyone fucking die,
yeah,
and be forgotten.
Yeah,
that's a good solution, guys.
I
know there's no great answer, and you know what? There is a lot of points. I mean, savor the irony of this story. There was a news crew in Chicago doing a story about armed robberies, and they all got mugged while doing the story.
Yeah,
they all got held at gunpoint and robbed while doing a story on that. So yeah, is there truth to that? But it's like, what about all the innocent people that are just trying to make a decent living and having because the laws are like that, people that become either desperate or bored and have nothing better to do than fuck everybody else up and steal all their shit. All those videos coming out of California of people with cartloads of shit, leaving a grocery store, leaving a Lowe's, for fuck's sake, fighting with the security and just continuously just let it go. Like,
but
just
again,
fuck it.
And again, this is the problem. This is why, people who go to work, pay their taxes, do an honest living. This is why that the hatred towards the left is because they allow that shit to happen. Their policies allow the people to steal the shit because at the end of the day, the consumers pay for it.
Right.
They up
the prices or they shut shit down.
Yeah, Walgreens isn't paying for it. We're just going to raise prices in all the other states and make up the difference.
Or we close our doors and people are out of a job in a bunch of these locations. Like Walmart's shutting down a bunch of locations in Oregon because of the shoplifting.
Right.
If Walmart is closing places, and everybody, and I use the universal we for all of us, we've been stealing from Walmart since day one. Like, that's the whole point of Walmart.
Right.
You always take a little something, right?
Well,
allegedly.
Then do you hear the left's argument? They go that the companies are being racist because they don't want to serve to, colored communities.
God, well,
See, no one wants to take responsibility.
Right.
It's everyone else's
once you throw
fault.
out race, religion, culture, once you start to like do an identity politics thing, that's like yeah, that's your last leg to stand on, and if that's the one that you're standing on, we know that that's not the real reason.
Right.
You're
But
throwing
again,
out
it's everyone else's
Right.
fault.
whether it's a religious reason, a cultural reason, yeah,
I mean, and really,
gender.
the latest person that I've even heard talk about Maui was on Rogan when he had Tulsi Gabbard and some fucking other guy on. But and it's weird because like talks about it, but she's on the electric company theory, like she's on the original theory.
Right, she's yeah. I
And
mean, we walked through like several, so
look, listen,
they're all possible.
you would like to
still mishandled.
You would still like to, regardless of how it started, how it's being handled right now is kind of bullshit.
Yep.
And then you see, and then listen, and we we did we talked about the Oprah and the Rock, and it's like
I was gonna say we're the only ones that have outrage apparently.
Right. Well, because no, because some people some people got pissed off when The Rock and Oprah were asking for
Yeah,
money.
but they've chilled out again. It's like everything too. It's like how you like to look at people that are extra woke. They'll be mad at something else. Give it a couple of days.
Right.
Like don't. It's the same thing here. Like people, you and I haven't because we bring it up clearly every fucking week. We're still throwing it back in there because it's not over. And if you're not looking at that, or they're not showing it to you, which is more than likely, you gotta wonder why. Like this is where we're at now, and I get it. I do hate the whole do your own research guy. Like yeah, because look, we all did our own research in school, and that didn't pan out wonderfully for everybody. So where you get your information from, get it from a myriad of sources. Try to tie it all in together, or do like we do. Don't confirm this is what I think or this is what happened, but let's discuss all the possibilities. And then understand at the end of the day that we really know fuck all.
We're just
What the truth is,
yeah.
we don't know.
Well, right.
We'll never get to.
Again,
but it's worth
we
investigating.
do know that we're being lied to in
Yes.
some way, shape, or form. We're just and that's all it is. We're not here trying to pick sides of which side's better, which side's not. But it's like we're fighting each other for the wrong reasons. Like we're being fucking played. Mm-hmm. Like. And it just blows my mind of, what we focus on and, how easily we just forget. Like, it's crazy.
Think about chess. If you look at all the different pieces on the chessboard, there are more pawns than any other piece.
Right.
And they can only move one square at a time.
Well, two.
Or two, right.
One or two.
The first move could be two. Then it's one. But it could also get you know what I mean? Like there's a moment in chess where they can become the most useful piece on the board to help you kind of restore balance. But pawns get played. They get played first. And you got to be careful to not have them all knocked off the board so quickly. Otherwise, you're really fucked.
Let me just ask you this real quick. I know your personal feelings about it. How, elections in general is fake, whatever.
Right.
Which, I started to believe that, whatever. That's a whole other episode. But what do you think could happen for this election? Like,
someone's going to die.
Yeah.
Either Joe Biden's going to pass away, and they're going to try to push Kamala Harris, or someone else. Okay. Or
they're going to kill Trump.
Someone's going to assassinate Trump.
Yeah.
Or he's going to die in a car accident or a plane crash. Just like the what's that guy? The Wagner. Leader over in Russia, just dies in a plane crash. I could see that happening.
I mean, RFK Jr. came out and said, CIA killed
Someone's, oh, definitely.
I mean,
I've seen too much on that to.
right. And again, we don't like. There's no like
We're good.
the CIA killed a president, and
That.
we don't give a fuck.
And guess what? In about 40, 50 years, the Maui thing is never going to be resolved. We're not going to have an answer. They're going to have their island, have it rebuilt in the fashion and design that they want to promote whatever agenda or narrative they're trying to push on the general population and brainwash everybody. And we're going to look back at that and go, whoop. I know, we're just sitting here fucking pissing in the wind, and I know, what can I do? I know, except talk about it. I don't know.
Right.
It sucks.
I mean,
it makes my head hurt.
What's the biggest reason for is it media or our politicians or
it's
or
the
our parents
corporatocracy. It's just all of it. If people that have power want more power. It's never really about the money. The money's a bonus because that can help you get more things to complete your mission, whatever it is, and to grow in more power. And, I guess the more people you have in your pocket, it's like the mafia mentality.
Do you ever feel sometimes like life would be easier if you just like
died? Yes. I'm sorry. I had to. I'm sorry. I had to bring it down.
Not that, but just being like one of these like just this mindless sheep, just like
I've dipped a pinky toe. Around. I've dipped a pinky toe in the corporate world, and just my general nature of disobedience, and I don't mean just for the fuck of it. Sure, when I was 5, yeah, just to get a rise out of somebody, an adult, my sister, didn't matter. But now it's just sort of like, if it doesn't make sense, I'm going to question it. And if I question something,
you're a racist.
And I'm labeled as something, whether it's having a bad attitude, whether it's not believing and trusting in the process, whatever. Right. And then I kind of keep pushing back and being vocal on it, and I get even more pushback from the opposite end. And then they do away with said policy, whatever it might have been, altogether in about a year. And I'm sitting there going, what was I talking about like that? Like, I don't understand. But anybody that's ever been disobedient has kind of been right. Like, you have to be to a certain point. Anyone in Lahaina, for example, that disobeyed the police orders to just go back, lived. You know what I mean?
Did you see
you have to have a level of no within you and not just agree. And I've done that with my parents too. They have failed because they're the first people that try to indoctrinate you, just to kind of make you like them, or try to do the best they can.
Well, they're just telling you what they know.
Right. So they're the first people to it. But I've rejected a lot of things from them. So you got to have that within you. Like, I'm going to take these things. I like this from you. Not so much that.
Right.
But I still love my parents no matter what. I'm never going to agree on that thing. But it's beneath us now. Like, I wish we could, as a world, could get to that point.
We used to be.
We used to be. We've always been at each other's throats since the dawn of time, man. It's just people killing people. Wars.
Well, country-wise, yes. But us as the United States, we used to be more sensible. More than we are now.
Okay.
I'm not saying like we were never like 100% perfect, but what I'm saying is there was a time where, maybe in the 70s, 80s, 60s, that era, 70s, 80s in that era, maybe 90s, I don't know.
When they assassinated a president.
What I'm saying is more sensible back then than we are now.
I think it's just a different level.
But did you see?
I feel like we're the same sensibility, just on steroids.
Because you're fucking negative. But did you see the fucking videos that pop up of? And this is why I don't back the blue. I don't support the fucking blue. See the fucking videos from Lahaina where when people were trying to escape, the fucking police had all the exits. Fucking.
Yeah, go back. Right, that's what I mean.
What is this shit?
So you had those people, the people that disobeyed, had the sense to know this isn't right. I'm questioning that call, and I'm going to say no immediately because obviously the fires, like, I don't have time to sit there and think about it or deal with it or mull it over. Like, I need to make this decision now.
And this is what I and this is why, I don't support the military or police or anything. Not because I think that they're all bad people, and I'm not saying that they all.
No, I get
And I'm
you.
not saying
It's
they
their own
deserve.
personal
But
bodyguard.
hold on, yeah, and I'm not saying that they deserve to be, they deserve to die or anything like that. But what I'm saying is when the shit hits the fan, they are protected because the government or powers that be, whatever, need them. They are going to defend whoever the leader or whoever is in charge of that city, town, country, whatever. They don't give a fuck about you, even though that they are supposed to serve and protect us. Not at the end of the day, no. They are there to serve and protect the powers that be.
Of course. Because
And I don't know how much more fucking evidence we need to see of that.
Yeah. Well, going back to the chess analogy, even with that, because everything's trying to take out the king and queen. So think about that as kind of like your leadership. And okay, so we got to kill all the pawns first, and then once the pawns are dead, now we got our knights, we got our rooks, we got our then we're all fucking, they're protected.
Yeah.
There's that line. But they send us in first, like idiots, fighting each other as pawns, and they wait till once that's okay, now we need to make some moves. Shut these people down, shut those people down, close it off, keep it protected.
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy. It's kind of creepy, man. Well, I know we've been kind of trying to get ourselves out, even though we just dove pretty deep back into it, get out of all of that fluff that they're putting in front of us and play some video games. And you let me know that Saints Row 5, I guess, was free on the PlayStation Network. And I've been back in the gaming world, man.
Yeah.
Been playing the fuck out of it. You and I played like all day Monday. It was tough to. It's still real buggy on that, so we had to flip to a different game.
Hold on, but before I gotta be honest with you. Sometimes playing with you, like I want to pull my hair out because you're just so you're so
Shit doesn't fucking work.
You're so quick to just say fuck it, and then you just get in a bad mood.
Yep.
And then no matter what, you're just not having it. It's like a 5-year-old throwing a temper tantrum. And it just happens so, and it just happens so much with you, and I feel sorry for you.
Video games are trash.
I understand they don't fucking play them at all.
That's why I stopped playing them once that shit starts. And you're like, come on, honey.
I can't win. I can't win with you.
No.
I just can't.
See the defiance, the disobedience. It's still there.
I just can't win with you.
It's still there. But there is another one to get excited for, and that is Grand Theft Auto 6.
Okay.
The alleged release date, October 24th.
Of next year.
Just said October 24th. So I'm going to assume next year. I don't know if it's going to be ready in a month.
Have we seen a trailer or anything? Do they have a trailer out?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I have seen a
Okay.
trailer,
All right.
yes.
We have a trailer out. Okay.
And see, I heard a rumor that the budget was $1 billion that they put in to make this game. Then I looked that back up. I know, $1 billion. So then I just tried to Google stuff earlier today based on this story to share, and all the shit was saying $2 billion. And I scrolled all the way through. So I don't know if that's true or not, that that's the budget, but it might be because...
Oh, that's the budget. That's not so much of how much that they... Is that how much they spent?
To make the game.
Oh, shit.
That's the budget. Paying all the people, like all the software, all the stuff that's involved. And the reason could be why the price is where it is, because Grand Theft Auto 6 is rumored to be priced at $150 per copy. So I know we're used to, if you're spending that kind of money, that is like a next-gen bundle package, with all these extra things. That is just the price. It's $150.
Now, are they only making the PS5 and Xbox, whatever the fuck we're on?
Yeah, whatever the new...
Yeah, they're not going to make PS4 versions.
No, it's not.
Right.
So, given the anticipated hundreds of hours of content, some fans are eager to pay for the game, while others find the pricing to be, quote, disgusting and unaffordable. GTA 5, for example, was released in 2013 for $60, later coming down in price. So if GTA 6 is priced at $150, that's 150% hike in price. But
You're getting your money's
I was
worth,
going to
though.
say, the map reveal that I saw, and I hope that this is true, okay, that you can go to Liberty City, you can go to Vice City, you can go to Los Santos, you can go to Las Venturas, you can, like, it's put it all, every map in one, you know what I mean? Like, the whole, like, series finally seems to be in one game. Like, the whole universe, for instance, is in one game, which is, I mean, yeah, you're going to get your money's worth. If that's hours of content right there, I mean, who knows what the missions are going to be like. But, I mean, you could be spending months just trying to complete shit in Liberty City, and you haven't even touched, East Los Santos.
Just think of the online aspect of it.
That too.
But
if it works.
I thought it was going to be a new map, new world.
Well, and these are all leaks, so it could be. I don't
Right.
know. It's a lot of speculation. It's just the information that's been
something
leaked so
something
far.
like that. Like, I'm okay to spend that money on 150 because, again, you're at least going to get a decade out of it.
Right.
Right?
The way this
At-
is.
at
The
any
last one was
time.
2013, so
Right.
yeah,
And
there's a decade right
and
there.
I could see how much I could see because especially online, there's so
Right.
many people who would buy online those cards to have money to
Yeah.
spend shit. Like,
It's
so
never
I can
ending.
see, and I mean, the only game that they really made that sucks is when they did the trilogy remastered. That's the only one that they
Didn't
made.
play that one. Yeah,
Well,
no.
it sucked because of the graphics, it glitched. It's kind of like playing Saints Row online.
Right, trying to connect again.
But yeah, other than that, they really haven't made like a crappy game, so they're pretty good, and they put in a lot of
Right,
detail.
Red Dead Redemption, both 1 and 2, excellent games.
I mean, they put in a lot of detail. I mean, like I said, GTA 5, a lot of detail on that.
You know what is also cool is the amount of voice actors that they have
Right.
playing in there now. Like even something like the radio, for instance. Like they had Axl Rose, I think was one of the DJs on San Andreas for it was K-Rock or some bullshit like that. Like he was the voice in between songs that would come on and be the DJ. They had Keith Morris from Black Flag on the hardcore punk station and in GTA 5. Chuck D for the old school rap station in San Andreas. I mean, even Samuel L. Jackson being Officer Tenpenny,
Right.
being the voice of that. That's kind of also now become if you're featured in a game like that, as part of the world, for instance. You're kind of blowing the lid off it, and I bring this up because somebody is rumored to be a radio station in GTA 6. You want to try and take a stab at
Oh boy, yeah, let me guess, Mike Alta.
it? No!
Oh.
Joe Rogan.
Oh,
The
really?
Joe Rogan podcast, apparently, is rumored to be featured in GTA 6 radio. According to the latest report on the topic, Rogan is present in GTA 6, but will not be a character users will see in the flesh, which is a shame. That'd be kind of cool if you could find the studio.
So what are you gonna play? Just any
Well,
podcast
that's what it's saying.
episode?
The rumor is not yet confirmed at this time. Some fans are skeptical given the franchise's history of spoof characters rather than celebrity collaborations, but would you listen to the Joe Rogan podcast on GTA 6 radio?
I'm sure people would.
You know what I mean? What if it was made up podcast? You know what
Well, no. Hold on, I got one better because you can get podcasts in general, whether it's small like us or other people, because you see with these musicians with copyright. They don't want people using their music because they want
they want to get royalties.
Either
and get
them
paid,
or
yeah.
the label company want all that money, and they're not cheap. They charge all these whether it's video games or apps,
Movies,
whatever, to have the license to play these songs. So, but it would be cheaper to pay, listen, we'll pay, you $5,000 to just give us, X amount of hours, of content to put in our game. That would be cheaper because,
Yeah. I don't know if like if they, let's just say they didn't want to pay somebody and they got a couple of bumbling idiots like us, we would totally go for it. But they would have it like, okay, would we, see, my angle would be, I wouldn't want to use an actual podcast that we've done and posted. I would want to just make up weird stuff. So that people listen, kind of like the old talk stations on the previous Grand Theft Auto games.
Yeah,
specifically
they would give you scripts.
Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City. God, I forget the guy's name, but he was the radio talk show host. There was a talk radio station, and it was just bizarre callers and just the most random shit that you could hear. And then they would talk about stuff that was happening in the game, which I thought was cool, like based on a previous mission. So let's just say it would be our podcast and they just completed a mission where they blow up a building. And next time they tune in to that station, once that mission's completed, it's us throwing out, 5 different conspiracy theories about what could have happened to the building, and all of them are wrong.
Well, I'm sure they get a script because you have to talk about.
I'd rather make one up.
You have to feel like it's part of the game. So you got to talk about whatever fucking city they're in.
Right, that's what I mean.
Whatever,
I don't think that it's gonna be his podcast just on a station.
Right,
I think
it's gonna be a
him
custom
doing
thing.
a thing.
You're not gonna hear him and fucking Russell Brand talking about Ukraine and Russia, and you're in.
Welcome back, all of you awakening wonders.
And you're in some made up city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but listen. I mean, there's fans for everyone. So.
If they do it, I might try to check it out, but I'd rather listen to music while driving in those games.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a game where I would be. Well, I don't know. I mean, because think about this, like especially with PlayStation, you can link in your Spotify and you can listen to that, like.
Oh, true.
At any point in time while you're playing games. Like, it's kind of separate from the in-game music and stuff itself.
Right.
So I'm sure people kind of do that already. Listening to, Joe Rogan, for instance, since he's on Spotify. I'm sure people have that on while they're playing fucking Madden or GTA 5 or whatever.
Because I've done that. I've thrown, and I did it in a much more simple person kind of way. I just went onto YouTube and went to my music mix and would play COD Zombies while just listening to my music mix.
Right.
So it's not unheard of.
It's the future, man.
Yeah. That'd be pretty cool, man.
But,
$150,
Well, hold
if
on.
you're getting all of that, you also got to buy a PS5.
Yeah, you got to pay, but yeah.
I mean, there's a lot happening there. So, I mean, it's...
I think I'm going to buy
And
one
I get it,
year.
too, at the same point. If you did spend $2 billion to make a game, like, you're going to want, your shareholders want a return on
Let's
on
go back
investment.
to 2013. If GTA 5
$60.
was $150, I mean, it'd be kind of worth it. I mean, because then here's the thing too, is if you spent that much money on a game, you would be invested to play it more.
That too. Sure.
Because if a game was free, let's just say, besides, Fortnite is that's whatever. But
in-game purchases keep that floating.
right. But what I'm saying is, but you can go in and out. Like, yeah, you're playing it right now, but then, you might not play it for a year.
I do that.
But if you spend, like I said, it's, because we're so used to $60, like that's kind of nothing to us.
Right.
But if you were to
that's been the standard, yeah.
Right, but if you were to spend $150 on that game, I feel also that you would be invested to, I want my money's worth out of it, so I'm going to play the shit out of it to kind of validate that price point.
Maybe for the majority of people. I mean, I'd still probably be the type to play the fuck out of it the first 2 weeks I have it, and then kind of fall off for a little while.
One glitch, and this guy's
done.
gonna throw it.
$2 billion to make this game, and you can't even get. No, I can't. The NPC's walking up the wall.
You're the Karen of video games.
It's true.
That's what you are.
It's true.
Sad day. Sad day. There you have it. So get ready for
if you
GTA
guys want to
6 in October.
Yeah.
We don't know what year.
We'll see. Yeah.
Just October.
24. It could be.
Or 25. We don't really know.
The year 2400. I don't know.
Who knows? So.